Hello, my lovely friends. Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Kaylee, and this is From Seed to Plate. If you haven't been here before, welcome. We are going to be drying some mango, cutting up some kiwi, and canning some pineapple today. I, for some reason, am on a tropical fruit kick, so I want to get some of this stuff prepared. I love pineapple, but I don't want to always eat a whole pineapple because I feel like I'm eating a pineapple for days. So I figured I'd try canning it, so I will have to let you guys know how that goes. Well, let's get to it. Let's get these mangoes washed up. I'm going to peel them, cut them into slices, and dry them. I love dried mango. I don't love the stuff from the store, but I do love homemade dried mango. I like it a little more dry than what the store usually has, so I prefer to do it myself. Even though it takes a little bit of work, it's totally worth it. So these are not local or in season, but I really miss them. I didn't have them for a while, so I ended up getting some organic ones from Costco. Even though I do live in Florida and I can get in-season organic ones, I did not buy enough this summer, that is for sure. I'm gonna try to find a place that I can get them in bulk next year, and hopefully I can get enough mango to last, but we'll see. That's the bad thing about getting them from the store like this, is they are shipped from, I think these ones said Ecuador, and there's no sign on the outside that anything's wrong, but they can have, you know, start going bad from the inside. That's the risk you take. I do have a mango tree growing. It's an Alfonso mango, so it's not this variety of mango. It's a smaller mango, but it has one of the most tasty fruits. So I'm going to try that. Al is a couple years old. I think he's 2 or 3 years old. So hopefully he will be producing this year. We'll see. So I'm just going to cut that spot out. So I'm doing this in flat sections like this because I'm going to put them on these trays to go in the dehydrator. I already have some pieces on there because I just finished the other load that I had, because I think I got 18 mangoes to do this with, and it'll give me about a half-gallon jar of dried mango. So I cut the end off so that it sits nicely, and sometimes that works well. Sometimes I still have to hold it. So you don't want to do this too thin, or it'll stick to the trays and it'll just pull apart, and it won't be that good. If you like your dried mango a little more meaty, you can definitely do the slices thicker than what I'm doing. And I do. This part gets thin, but I try to get as much of it off as I can to dry it. But whatever I can't, that doesn't make sense to dry, I will cut into pieces and stick in a container in the fridge and just eat fresh. Because mango is also delicious that way. Mango is my favorite fruit, I have to say. And I'm super excited. My mom actually, I think she just got like 3 mango trees this past year. So eventually we are going to have an abundance of mango between the two of us, and it's going to be lovely. I will be super happy about that. I bought a can of mango that I haven't tried yet, and I also bought some pureed mango. I have not tried either of them yet. I'm going to see if those are options that I could do when we have an abundance available. Yeah, so these little pieces here, I just cut up and I will put those in a container. I got a big compost bowl out so that I can put all these scraps in there and they're not in the way. And since we're doing pineapples and kiwis also, I'll need extra room. So this is the end where the stem is. I cut that off. And then you can see the core here. And the core goes this way. And it'll be kind of flat. So that's why I'm slicing it in toward the core. This is the easiest way I have found to do this. If anyone else has any other tips or tricks, let me know, because I could always use a more efficient way to peel mangoes. I have tried the cup method where you cut it in half, or you cut it off of the side of the core and then you slide it along the glass. It kind of works. But it's dirtying another dish and you have to use a knife anyway. And I don't know how that would work for this specifically. It worked okay for fresh eating, I guess, but this is the best method that I have found thus far. But if anyone's a pro at getting their mango ready to eat, let me know down in the comments. I used to not use these pieces. I used to just eat them fresh, but they taste just as good dried. As long as they're not teeny tiny, I still use them and dry them. I probably wouldn't do much smaller than this one. Like this, I'm just going to use for fresh eating. So this mango seed is actually inside this guy. This opens up. It's kind of like a nut where the seed's inside the shell. Yeah, that's about the shape of it. So it's not very thick. And if you crack this open, it actually has the seed inside it. This is not the seed. So these pieces will go in my fresh eating bowl, and these slices will go on the trays. The best tool you can get for this is a sharp knife, because then it just slides down inside of the skin. All right, we're gonna get these on these trays. This should all fit. I have 6 trays that go in my dehydrator. This should actually take up less than that, I think. And this dehydrator, it takes about 10 hours, and then I'm going to put it down to 122. And hit start. Off we go. This is what the mango looks like when it's all done. I'm actually just going to take these out, stack them on top of each other so that I can put them in a container. So this was done at 122 degrees for 10 hours. And I think they're perfect. If there's any that are a little underdone, because sometimes when they're thicker, they will be, I will put them back in. This is the jar that I'm going to put these in. I've clearly already done some. So this is the last of the mango. I love dried mango. It's like a staple in my house. I always have it over on the counter, and when people come over, they just help themselves to it. It's so good. Like this one's a little bit gummy. It has a lot of moisture. I don't think I want to put it in there, so I'll just eat that one here in a bit. If I had a bunch of them that weren't done, I would put some back in, but it looks like most of them are done. So if there's just 1 or 2 with a little bit of extra moisture than what I want, I'll just eat them. I just am afraid of them getting moldy in here if there's too much moisture. Not that they last that long, but I mean, if I haven't had anyone over in a while eating them, they're gonna last a little bit for me. All right, and that is our delicious restock jar of mangoes. Now that we have our mango going, we can get our kiwis cut up. I used to peel these. I do not anymore. I just cut the ends off and slice them in circles and cut them in half. I eat the skins. When you eat the skin, it just has a little bit different texture. It doesn't do anything to the flavor. It doesn't change it or add it or anything. It doesn't really taste like anything. But it makes it a lot easier to prepare. I thought it was really strange the first time I saw someone eat the skin. I was like, that would decrease prep work and to eat them. And I tried it and I don't mind it. So that's what I do. Every now and then I'll peel them, but usually I do not anymore. I did rinse them really, really good. Make sure everything's off of them. And there's our bowl of kiwi whenever we need a little snack. Ready to go. So the pineapple we're actually gonna can. I think I already said that. But I'm gonna try to twist this top off. See if I can plant it. Because if you take the leaves off, you're supposed to see some roots. And then you can just stick it in the dirt, or you can put it in water and let it root. I'm just going to stick it in some dirt and see what happens. Because why not? I have no idea if this is enough, but it looks like there's some things. So I think we're going to leave it there. And we'll stick it in dirt and see what happens. I'm going to do the same thing with this other one. I somehow didn't record me getting the pineapple flesh out of the skin and core. I actually use a tool for this. It makes it a lot easier because you don't have to peel it per se, kind of like I did the mangoes. I will put it in the link below, but it works really well. You cut off the top, you twist it down into the pineapple, and you pull this all out, and it comes out just like this. So I'm going to cut this in about inch pieces so that it's easy to eat. I'm just cutting off a couple little green pieces that are still part of the skin on there. But yeah, we're just going to cut this up and get it into our water, get it warmed up, and get it canned. You don't have to cut this in pieces. Just like you get out of the can, you could leave it in rings if you wanted to. I would eat this for a snack, so I don't have any need to leave it whole. I want bite-sized pieces, so I'm going to cut it up that way. And I think the canning book said you need like 12 pounds to make 8 pints. So I'm definitely going to get significantly less than that, but I wanted to try to can it myself before I make a huge batch of it and see if I like doing it this way. This is going to be a hot pack method, so I need to go ahead and get my water on for canning, I think, before I make my syrup. I'm using the Complete Book of Home Preserving Ball Book. This one and the All New Canning Ball Book are two that I use the most. It has so many recipes in it and has all the information that you need for them. So yeah, pineapple and syrup, page 150. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our canning water on because we're gonna do everything hot. So I want everything the same temperature. I already washed my jars. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick the jars in the water so they get hot with the water because they're warm, but they're not hot. So we want everything about the same temperature, or at least close. All right, so those will get hot together. The pineapple is kind of sour. So maybe I'll do a medium syrup. So we're going to do 5 cups of water and 3 1/4 cups sugar. Okay, so all we're going to do to make the syrup is 5 cups of water and 3 1/4 cups of sugar. We bring it to a boil, let the sugar dissolve, and then we get our pineapple in there. All right, let me do this before I turn the page, forget the ratios, because in this book there's a specific page for the syrup and then the recipe with the other information for the pineapple is separate. So this is just like a basic syrup for anything. Seems like a lot of sugar. 3. Whenever I do this stuff, I'm always like, that's a lot of sugar. But you don't, unless you're drinking the liquid out of the can, you're not going to be ingesting all of the sugar. 1 1/4. All right. So we'll bring that to a boil over medium-high heat, stir until dissolved. Okay, so it looks like this sugar is all dissolved. I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit, and we're going to get this pineapple in here, get it heated up. It says to heat it through for about a minute until warm. While that's heating up, I will get the hot jars out of the water. And while the sugar was dissolving and the cans were heating up, I went and got my other canning supplies. I got my vinegar and my paper towel. I got funnel, lids, and rings. So we are going to get this pineapple in there. I got 4 pints out. I don't think I'll even use that many probably, but I'd rather have more than enough ready. And it called for about 1/2 inch headspace. I think the easiest way to do this is going to be with my handy dandy measuring cup. We're going to get the air bubbles out. I'm going to use a chopstick. Try to stick it down the middle a little. These are big pieces, so it doesn't really work all that well, but we can try a little bit. A lot of the time, if you just shake it back and forth, it'll get a lot of the air out. And then we want to make sure that our syrup level is still good once we get the air bubbles out. This one I'll put a little more in. Okay. So we definitely need to wipe our rims. I already got vinegar on a paper towel. With that sugar syrup, it will definitely be sticky, and that can prevent the seal on our jar. So you want to make sure the rims are really, really clean. When you're dealing with anything oily or sticky, sugary. And finger tight, just enough to give you a little bit of resistance. And we are going to use our holder to put these back into the water because water is still hot, and these jars are not hot, but they're pretty warm. I don't want to burn my fingers. Not today. We're going to process these jars for 15 minutes after the water starts boiling. Where did I put my lid? There we are. So we'll get this turned all the way back up to high. While that stuff's canning, let's go stick these in the dirt. Since my broccoli keeps getting eaten, we're just gonna take that out and stick these in. I want to put them far enough apart where they have a little bit of room. And that's it. We'll see how they do. Fingers crossed we get pineapples in a year or two. They take a while. So we're also heading outside to put this whole bowl of goodies into our compost. It is sunny in my eyeballs, which I am very thankful for because I know it's cold a lot of places. So my compost bin is full. So what I'm going to have to do is move some of the browns aside because I dumped them on top of some other greens. And I'm just going to dump this whole bowl underneath where I moved this stuff. All right. We're going to try to get this covered back up so that it can all break down. There we go. I think while I'm waiting for the canner to finish, we have 5 more minutes and then 5 minutes to cool down. So I have about 10 minutes. I'm going to get these floors cleaned up. I already got the dishes cleaned up, so this is all we have to do. Once we get the pineapple out of the canner, we will be all set in the kitchen for the day. So I just took the lid off the pan. I want to let it cool for 5 minutes. That is so it doesn't siphon. If there's a change in temperature too quickly, then some of the liquid may come out of the jars, and then you get that sticky, syrupy liquid into your canning jar, and you have to clean your jars because they have it on the outside. So usually, as long as you cool it, let it cool a little bit before you take the jars out, then they won't siphon. The pineapple is all done canning, so we're going to get this out of here. Uh-oh. I hear air. There we go. Okay guys, we got 3 pints of pineapple from our 2 pineapples. They are canned now. We got a ½ gallon of dried mango. This is pretty smushed down in there, so it ended up, it was 18 mangoes. I got a ½ gallon of dried mango out of it. And then I just have my 4 kiwis cut up. I'm just gonna eat these as a snack. I actually have 4 more in the fridge that are still kind of firm that aren't ready to be cut up yet. So I hope you enjoyed spending time in the kitchen with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.